In Luke 17, verse 20, it says, "Now having been questioned by the Pharisees as to when the kingdom of God was coming, he answered them and said, 'The kingdom of God is not coming with signs to be observed.'" The Jews in general were looking for the kingdom of God. They knew it was coming from the Old Testament. And as MacArthur says, they were all premillennialists. And why would they ask Jesus about the timing of the kingdom of God? One reason, of course, is because he had repeatedly referenced the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven. As with all who do not have spiritual eyes to see, the Pharisees missed the fact that the kingdom had already come in the sense that the king was present. Stephen Cole says, quote, "We can't be sure whether the Pharisees were questioning Jesus in a hostile sense or not. Given their track record, they may have been asking skeptically, 'When is the kingdom coming?' The general Jewish belief was that the kingdom of God would begin with a bang, with a powerful Messiah establishing his rule in Israel and delivering the nation from their enemies. And so it is as if the Pharisees were saying, okay, you have been talking about the kingdom of God. We're ready for it to come. When is it coming? You have not done any of the signs we have been taught that would accompany the coming of the kingdom of God." In Luke 19:11, we read that their expectation that the Messiah was going to inaugurate the kingdom of God. While they were listening to these things, Jesus went on to tell a parable because he was near Jerusalem, and they supposed that the kingdom of God was going to appear immediately. This was prevalent Jewish expectation in Jesus' day. The kingdom of God was going to appear immediately, and this expectation explains the events that accompanied his triumphal entry into Jerusalem described in the Gospels. Matthew quotes Zechariah's prophecy that Israel's king was coming, but notice he said he was coming on a donkey and not on a white horse like a conquering general. He will come that way the second time, but not in his first coming. But the Jews, for the most part, did not see Messiah's two comings. He answered them and said, "The kingdom of God is not coming with signs to be observed." Now, at first hearing, this statement might seem confusing because clearly Jesus did many signs and wonders as described by all four gospel writers. But these were not the signs the Pharisees or the nation as a whole were looking for. They were looking for signs in the heavens, cataclysmic signs, great signs about which their Old Testament prophecies had been written, signs that would precede the establishment of the kingdom of God on earth. To fully grasp what the Pharisees were asking and what Jesus answered, you must understand the context, specifically the eschatological beliefs of the Jews of the first century. John MacArthur describes what the first century Jews were expecting in the future for the nation of Israel. It is especially notable they were looking for and expecting a visible kingdom of God. And with Jesus' repeated mentions of the kingdom and the phrase, the kingdom of God, the Jews were hoping that he would bring in the kingdom. Notice how several times they try to crown him king. Why did they do this? Because they thought from his words and actions that he was the king of the visible kingdom they were looking for.